I am just looking too. I'm just going to be on my phone, poking around. See if I'm there. I am. So we are live. Yay! Hello. If anybody is out there in the internets, let me know. Say hello. And I am just trying to connect to Instagram right now. Trying. Come on, Instagram. You can do it. You can do it. Let's see. All right. I think we're getting there. Come on. Right. Yay! We're on. So excited. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited to actually have everything working, honestly. That's what I'm excited about. Everything's working. This is Jen here from Stardust Wanderer Tarot, Stardust Witch Podcast, all the things. And today we are chatting with Jess Rollar, also known as Coffee with a Fool. And she just came out with this freaking adorable new deck. And this is the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. And this is published by Rockpool. So how are you doing today, Jess?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is this was it so exciting to get this deck in your hands?
It really was. It was.
That's got to be the best thing. I am in the middle of making two tarot decks right now. I'm kickstarting in April, one of them, and it's I just want it in my hands. I just want it all together. It's such a difference to see it. You see all the images online, but then it's I just want it physically in my hand. And I say that I love the size of these. Awesome. Because I have small hands, and usually I do lives every week on the Cartomancer, and it's just me. You see me just throwing cards around half the time because they're always huge.
What's funny is I have really big hands. So.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
I like smaller decks, so.
No, it's so adorable. So why don't you tell me what your inspiration was for this deck? Where did this idea come from?
Well, I've been a huge fan of historical decks, especially Marseille. And one of my favorite decks was the John Noblet. And so this deck was actually inspired from that deck. And I wanted to create something modern and a little bit more fresh with some twists. And but I still wanted to keep that whole historic feel and traditional feel of the deck. And I also wanted to challenge myself with a limited color palette. Yeah. So when I came up with my colors, it just kind of came together really naturally.
Yeah, no, and I love, and they are just they complement each other, and it's just so adorable. So there is just a couple of examples I'm going to just show so you can see. So was there any card that was giving you that was a pain for you, or did they all just seem to kind of flow pretty well?
They kind of flowed really well. I started just straight from the beginning with the Fool, and I went all the way through, and then I did each suit. Right. I added little, I have chickens, and so you'll see a couple chickens throughout the deck.
I did see that. No, I do remember that, and I love his eyes. In this one, I got a little bit of blur, but yeah, his eyes. I used to have chickens too. I used to have 13 chickens, but then there was a fox incident.
Oh no. Yeah, I think the Knight of Swords was my main chicken card that I just had to include.
I love that. So are your chickens are they all pretty friendly, or are they a bunch of jerks?
No, they're real friendly. We have 4. Oh, they're jerks to each other once in a while, but they're super friendly with us.
They're friendly. And what are their names? Do they have names?
My daughter named half of them, and so Sunshine and Kinoko were hers that she named, and then I named Zelda and Kippy.
I love that. Actually, we had a Zelda too. That's so funny. Mine were all pretty good except for one, and I
Mhm.
named her Felicia for this reason.
We had a bad one, like a jerk in the group, but she's no
Sure.
longer here.
Yeah, she was mean to me. She was mean, and and I had red rocks, so they were like like huge, and I'm
Right.
only 4'10", so like the thing was almost as big as me, and so she would stretch her neck up and just like poke me, and for no good reason. She was so mean, and I mean that's why I'd be like I had named her Felicia for that reason.
Yeah, ours is living in another farm now.
Yeah, Felicia's she's
Bye, Felicia.
gone. Bye, Felicia. Exactly. That was why we named her that. So now how long because I know you drew all of these and
Yep,
then you wrote the guidebook as well, right?
I
So
did.
how long did it take you to do the whole deck to draw it?
Um, the deck was already done before I went with Rockpool.
Got
So
it.
that part was, and it took me, I would say maybe 1 or 2 months, maybe 3 months total.
Gosh,
About 2 to 3
wow.
months, I think. Usually, when I get started on a project, I like to finish it in one go because I know if I take a break, I probably won't come back to it.
I
So,
understand that so much.
so I got it done
This
quick.
why I have piles everywhere on my desk. Yes, I get it.
hmm The guidebook took me about, I think I had about a month or so to do the guidebook.
Oh,
That was the
okay.
most difficult out of the entire deck, just because I read Marseille more like open reading without interpretations, and so to put interpretations onto the cards was definitely challenging. So it's all
Right.
written in my own words and my own kind of way how I read the cards.
Yeah. No, I love that too. And I think, a lot of people, especially newbies, are very scared of a
Mhm.
Marseille. They are because they
Right,
see that and they see that the pips don't have like a lot going on. They just have whatever
right.
sign that element or whatever. And I love this because with your deck too, it makes it approachable. It makes it like not so scary, like you said, because they are very traditional, and I love that too. I love because to me they just seem like old. It's like you
Right,
picked it up out of like, this, you were in a little Italian shop and then they were just there waiting for you or something,
right.
And I love that about them. But I do love how these are because it makes it so easy and fun to really start picking it up and that you can read them. And then
Mhm.
and I think with the pips too, that it kind of really makes you rely on your intuition, right?
It does. Reading
And
Marseille for me helps a lot with like Rider Waite.
yeah.
It carries over. Same with playing cards. When I read playing cards, it helps kind of carry over for the other systems.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, no, and I love doing the playing cards too. Because I have what I have a labyrinth playing card deck because I
Mhm.
love the labyrinth, and so I love to even read with that. And what was the other one I had? I think like Dark Crystal or something. I mean, you could use obviously just a regular playing deck, but you start going on Amazon and you start looking and you find all
Right.
these fun ones, and you're like, I'm gonna get all of these. But do you have any tips for anybody who wants to start reading the Marseille, but they are still a little bit worried about if they're going to be able to interpret the cards?
Like how I read them, I look at patterns and I make sure that my symbols or like my suits kind of have like a specific meaning to me. Like coins would be like exchanging,
Mhm.
um, swords would be cutting, and so to have like a system for yourself to start with helps a lot. But I mostly just look to see how the cards are playing together.
Yeah.
How like are two swords coming up as two cups again later on in the reading? Just to see how they kind of flow back and forth.
Right, right. Yeah. So, like, not even, excuse me, so much concentrating just on the one card.
Right.
Like, get a group of them going and then start really diving in that way. I love
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Cause,
read better, and I think I usually like to read Marseille and like playing cards in like 3 cards
yeah.
spreads with
Hmm.
like no set meanings, and so it's easier to read them kind of in pairs, kind of like Lenormand, where you need all the cards together to kind of create the story.
To get the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too. No matter what you're reading is, you are creating a story and piecing it together and not
Mhm.
so much worrying about what's on each particular card.
Right.
because one thing that you might be focusing on trying to figure what the meaning is may not have to do with anything of what you're
Right.
reading about, right? And it
Mhm.
doesn't even matter at that point.
Right.
So, how did you get started reading?
I've been reading for 10 years now. It seems kind of I just picked it up randomly one day. I just got kind of curious. I was mostly interested in like the art on the cards.
Yeah.
And so I ordered a couple, I ordered my first deck and I was waiting for it and I just wanted to pick one up right away. So I went to the bookstore and I found one. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just dived right in. I didn't pick up books till a little bit later,
Hmm.
and which I'm kind of glad I did that, only because I got used to the cards on my own terms.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just kind of started just kind of randomly that it stuck
Just
really
playing
well.
around with it. What was your
Yeah.
first deck? What was it, that first deck you bought?
I think it was the Universal Golden Tarot,
Oh, okay.
and
Yep.
then the one I had ordered was the Light Gray Tarot by Light Gray Art Labs. Art
Oh,
Labs.
wow, yeah. Both oh, those are both nice decks too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I definitely like because I started when I was like 14 or something,
Mhm.
and at that point they didn't really there wasn't like a lot of books that you could even get access
Right.
to because it's like Amazon wasn't a thing. So I agree with that too. I liked the fact that I just kind of figured it out, on my own, and
Yeah.
really you kind of get to know the cards a little bit better that way, I feel
Mhm.
like too.
I agree.
And a lot of the, I write, so, doing the guidebook, obviously, I want people to read them. Um, but they were, now it used to just really be the little white books. It wasn't
Yeah.
like these big guidebooks that we have now
And they
either.
were all
So
the same for every deck.
yeah, exactly. It was like they just all copied it from the same place, and it
Mhm.
was the same keywords and all of that. And a lot of times, you were reading it. If you tried to look up the keyword, you're like, this has nothing to do. What's going on here? I don't
Right.
know what this means. Or you just thought that you were completely wrong when you weren't.
Right.
You were just like, okay. So I think that, really relying on your intuition. And it's
Yeah.
good too because it works it out because it's
Mhm.
like a muscle and all that good stuff. So what other projects do you have going on right now? Do you have anything else
Um,
going on?
well, I have 2 decks kind of in the works right now that I've been
Sweet.
kind of chipping away. One's another Lenormand deck.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I posted a couple pictures of those on my Instagram. I kinda that's one I took a break on, and so I'm hoping to kinda pick that up again, but, and then the other one is actually an Oracle deck that is, like the sister deck to the Squid Cake Marseille.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
I haven't really done much too, but I got about 15 cards done so far, but it's called the Everyday Objects Oracle. And so
Oh,
it's
I
based off of just random household and like, things you normally would run into on a daily basis. And
that.
so
It's
the
always
same
fun.
color palette.
I
What's
love
that?
that because I'm always saying too, like I always joke around, like divinate all the things. So that
Mhm,
goes right along with like exactly what I love to do. Um, is I think it was like 2 years ago. I also love David Bowie. I ordered like on this late night splurge on Facebook, like this David Bowie advent calendar, right? So it was
mhm.
supposed to have like all these different things in it, like David Bowie things. Well, I started opening it and every day I took video as I was doing it. And they were like all of the rejects from like McDonald's toys that nobody was ever going to see. Like their faces were melted. It was like the craziest thing you've ever seen, and not one David Bowie thing in there at all, right? So I took them all and I put them in my labyrinth lunchbox, as one does, and I used it as divination. So
Right,
sometimes I'll use that. I'll just pull these random. There's like a pink piano in it, and I'll do that. So I love that because you can take
yeah,
anything, right, and
really
divinate.
anything.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I love that. And I think, people tend to get so stuck on, well, I have to use this and I have to use that and I have
right,
to spend money on this and I have to spend money on that. And even with that deck that you're working on too, it's almost like
yeah,
pick up whatever is around you and what do you get
right,
from it? Right?
exactly.
It's perfect. It's perfect. What other divination, like what's your favorite? Let's go there. What's your favorite divination? Like source of
Um,
divination or tool?
Cards for sure.
Mhm.
Specifically more, I'm a big Thoth reader.
Okay.
So Thoth, playing cards, Marseille, those are kind of my favorites. Although every once in a while I need a break and I like to pick up, Rider Waite.
Right.
But yeah,
I
and
was
then I'm like,
gonna say, you're like into the intense stuff.
I get bored really easy, so I need something a little bit more to read on and like study.
Right,
And
right,
so Thoth
right.
has kept me busy.
Yes, for sure. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah, I'm learning to I'm really starting to dive into like Kabbalah and all of that, and just um I it's like, you learn little bits of it here along the
right,
way, but I've never really dove into it. So, I'm going to start doing that next month, really looking into it. Cuz it's so intricate,
it is.
and it's just like the tree of life. It's like the tree of life in the tree of life within the tree of life in the tree of life.
Yeah, so many rabbit holes.
It's crazy. Like there's like just so much happening. Like you see it and you're like, oh yeah, that's nice. But it's like, oh no, no, friends. There's a lot going on here.
Right.
Like how are you, have you really studied that at all? Is that something that
Um,
you're into
I've been
or
into Thoth. I've been studying Thoth off and on for about 3, maybe 4 years, and I still feel like I'm like still just like chipping away at the top. I got
right.
really big into the deacons. That's
Mhm.
kind of what I'm looking at right now and like focusing on. But and then I get distracted, and then I dive into another section, and it's like so it's just a constant like
It is.
rotation.
I feel like that it's like to me, it's almost like astrology, right?
Hmm.
Like you could just keep, you can learn it, but you
Right,
never really fully, I
right,
mean, maybe some people do, but I'm not I think I'm like you too. Like I start doing it for a little while and I dive into it and get really deep. And then I need
right,
a break from it, and then it just sits for a little bit. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I really wanted to know that. So then I go back to it.
right.
The problem is we just want to know all the things, right?
Yeah, and all at
And
once.
there's so many things. And it's like you're trying to like concentrate and then concentrate on, of course, stuff that you're creating as well.
Right,
Because then but it also is inspiration, right? Like it
right.
definitely, there's so much to draw from.
Hmm.
And I love that. So so obviously you do art, right? And you draw a little bit. So is that something that you've always done? Like have you always been drawing since you were little, or did you just
Yeah.
kind of get into
Yeah, I
it?
started really, really young. I remember when I was like, I think when we lived in California, I was like maybe 6 or 7. Like when family would come over, I'd run to the room and draw them a rabbit. It was the same rabbit all the time. I'd draw them the rabbit and I'd hand everybody, their pictures. I took a
Rap-
break from art though for quite a bit, and I got back into it like I'm thinking maybe 5, 6 years ago, and I just haven't stopped. I tend to focus more on like my sketch stuff, which is like more
Mhm.
nature and like urban settings.
Oh,
But my digital illustration is where I kind of like get cartoony and just kind of more relaxed.
yeah. They're so much fun. I love them. And and your style is so unique too. So if I'm just scrolling through, like I know it's yours. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, look, that's I know that." And I think that's awesome because I mean, if for anyone, anything you create, you want somebody to like see it and recognize it right away
Right,
that it's yours. So
right.
I really do think that's something that you have done, just so you know.
Awesome.
Just letting you know. So as far as like with the digital, was that like easy for you to pick up, or did it take you a little while to kind of
It
get
was
used to?
it was really different going from
Yeah,
like
yeah.
traditional, and it became easier. My hands shake a lot when I sketch, and so to have like a little bit of stabilization when I'm doing digital is a little bit nicer.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's definitely progressed, through the year. It's been a learning curve.
yeah,
It's
for
been
sure.
fun.
No, I mean, I don't know how to draw, but I've always, like I tried to, they're like, "Oh, learn how to draw, super easy." I'm like, "Oh," and I go to do it, and it's just I'll just stick to words. I'm better with words. I can't draw anything. But so what do you actually draw on? Do you draw on like an iPad
Right
or do
now, I'm
you
just doing iPad and Procreate. That's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
okay.
I'm hoping to upgrade my iPad to a little bit bigger, but for now it works.
It works. Yes. No, definitely. It works. It works. I love that with those programs that you can record it and see the
Right.
progression of it. And
Yeah.
that's really cool. And I love watching those. Like some people, sometimes post it and I always love watching that. It's like so interesting to see and just how you just start from this blank canvas and then all of a sudden you have this.
Right. I always forget to share those until I'm done. I'm like, oops.
Well,
Maybe
it's
I'll
funny
remember.
too. It's funny too because I think, and of course the ones that people, like really show they look the perfect from the beginning. I'm sure they edit it,
Right.
which, is kind of cheating. Because I mean, it's like me posting like, you know, something I wrote like an article without editing it. I
Right.
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to myself.
Right.
Like that would be not nice. Everybody would be like, "Bye, Jen. See you later," because I don't know what's happening here.
Right.
No, I love that. It's fun. Now, I know you mentioned your daughter? Does she draw?
Yeah. She just recently got into drawing about a year ago, and I'm like thrilled. And so
That's so
she's drawing, and every
cool.
day she shows me what she's done. And yeah, she's
Yeah,
14.
14. Okay, oh, I
Mhm.
love that. I love that. Yeah, mine are all. I have 4 boys, and they're a little older. Um, does she do tarot? Is she interested in the cards at all?
Not
Or
so much. She wanted one
yeah,
of my decks just to have it so she can show her friends. But
great.
she was gonna start one at one point, but no.
No,
She gave up really quick.
it's so
She wanted me
funny,
to do one
right?
for her.
What?
She wanted me to do one for her
Oh
in
yeah,
the things she
yeah.
wants. So
Yeah, of course, that's what they do, And yeah, my oldest son, he reads, and my other kids are definitely interested. My second son, he's more just like, "Mom, can you pull a card for me? Mom, could you do a reading for me?" I'm like, "You
right.
know what? I'm gonna start charging you."
Yeah.
Like he's almost 23. I'm gonna start charging you. I'm like, and I kind of used it throughout when they were younger. Like we did, all sorts of, I'm just all witchy things. So they're used to it, but I taught them how to do it. So I'm like,
Right.
listen, pick up cards. I have like a million cards in my, like everywhere. Like you could just pick some up and read it. So I kind of cut him off. I told him that if he needs to do it for me, like he needs to do it and then I'll help him.
Right.
But besides
Exactly.
that, and you know what it is too, even with your art too, I love because it is kind of like it's very kid friendly. Like kids can pick this up and
Mhm.
start using it. And I love giving a deck to like a kid, a child or
Mhm.
whatever. Like I'll, give it my niece or whatever. And I'll tell them, tell me a story.
Right.
And I can tell them what they are, what they're for. And it's always so amazing what they come out with because it always is like correct, to the
Right. Exactly.
cards and what their meanings are. And I think that's so awesome because, as we grow up, we lose that because,
Yeah.
life, society,
Totally.
all of those things. And I think it's really fun when you can bring kids into it
I
and
agree.
and get them involved and really just see it's really what it is, it winds up being more for you because you get to see like their unedited perspective on stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes they come up with things that you haven't even thought of. So it's kind of like, oh,
Right. Yeah,
how did you see that?
they see the little things in these cards and you're like, "Oh, I
I
never
missed that.
put it that way. I never would
Right.
think that." But okay, look at that. See, now they know better than I do. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so would you like to tell everybody where to find you?
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram under Coffee with the Fool. I do have a separate art account that I kind of keep a little separate here and there. It's just Jess Rollar.
Okay.
It might be Jess Rollar Art. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I'm mostly active on Instagram. I do have a Substack blog page that I haven't updated in a bit, but I believe it's coffeewiththefool.substack.com.
Okay.
But that's pretty much
Cool.
all I kind of
All
go through. I
right.
had a Facebook page, but I just don't update it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are abandoning that
yeah,
ship.
it
It's hard to keep up on too, and it
is.
because it's I don't know, I'm an Instagram person. I love Instagram. It's just easier for me,
Same.
and I like the visual of it.
Yeah,
It's just so easy to kind of go through and do it, and
exactly.
um, so yeah, I agree with you there. And Coffee with a Fool, we can find you,
Yep.
and yeah, you have a link in there too, like a link tree or
It should
something,
be.
right?
I have the links all in under my bio, and then I have more decks for like indie decks that I've done that aren't like published through anywhere. Those are available for sale as well.
Okay, why
So
don't you tell us about those real quick?
my first deck was the Monster Lenormand. That was a fully hand drawn deck that I
Oh
finished.
wow,
I believe I finished that deck from start to end in like a week and a half.
No way.
Um,
Actually, I have that deck. I have
it
it. Yeah.
was
There you go. I should have grabbed it.
I got on it. It was my first deck, and I just didn't put it down for like a week. So I kept drawing one card after the next.
That's
And
amazing.
then I have that also available as a mini version now too. And then I have the Strange Lenormand. That's available there. I've been kind of thinking about creating a Thoth deck down the road. I'm still not sure yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are available right now.
Oh, cool. I love that. Yeah. I have the monster one. I know I have that one. It's just it's that one's fun too. I
Mm,
mean, it's so fun, like just with the Lenormand too,
yeah.
how it's kind of reviving, which
Hmm.
is so exciting for me. And I love that. And there's been so many cute Lenormand decks coming out lately too.
Yeah.
And
What's
I
funny
really
is
I
I'm not a huge Norman reader. I just love making the decks because I like that it has like almost like card prompts for each
yes,
card,
it
like the writer.
does.
And so
Right.
I treat it as more of like a little challenge for each drawing. So it's kind of they're just fun to draw and like
Yeah.
fun.
No, they are, and it is, and I think like you said, like what like each card is,
Right,
so it kind of takes that away, so you have more. It almost, in a way, gives you kind of that more creative flow to like take whatever that is and
right,
make it however make it fun.
exactly.
And it is, I like it. I like it because it's just very straightforward,
Hmm.
and you can keep kind of drawing cards on it, but you're not going to really get anywhere. It's like, this is what it is. Where
Right,
sometimes people just with regular right away, just kind of keep pulling cards, and they
right,
have, it's like the people post their like 40 cards, and they're like, "Can someone help me interpret this?" And it's
right.
like, sorry,
Less
no.
is more.
Yeah. You started doing Norman, like it's like, oh, all right, that's what it is. Never mind. I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Thanks
This
for
is a
having
lot
me.
of fun. Your deck is so much fun. It is available now. So you whoever's listening, if you would like to purchase it, you can go to all your favorite places. Definitely head over to Jess, a Coffee with a Fool, and give her a follow. If you have the deck, make sure you post it, tag her. That's always great to kind of spread the love around. We all like that as creators here. But there it is, the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for everybody who hopped on as well.
Thanks so much. It was fun.
No problem. All right, guys, have a great day. Thanks.